they had maintained very good relations with the state government, even with the previous government. And before that also, when Ummanchandi was the chief minister, it was during his time only Adanis were brought in. Plato says, the great Plato of Greece, he says in Republic, the most difficult management in the world is political management. Largest investment to come to any port in India, which means the climate and the atmosphere currently prevailing in Kerala must be favorable. That would be the message. This is the main reason for the cargo not coming to Cochin. Sit together with the exporter, importer, railways, roads and all that. Cochin port now thinks, of course I have been a port chairman myself, I cannot say, but even then, had I been the chairman of the port trust of Cochin, I am sure I will be able to have a dialogue with the railways, with the road people, exporters, importers, and subsidize it. Vizhinjam can come up only on the basis of trans-Shipment cargo. MSC alone will be able to give 6 million TEUs. They would have already calculated. From their own ships, they will be able to give. 99.9% is MSC cargo.
Confusion on this 49% stake itself, because there is one view which says that the 100% is owned by Kerala government. So how can Adani give 49% to this guy, MSC? So then the other argument, no, this is another company which is operating this terminal. They have taken 49% in that company, so you don't need government's permission because this is a separate company. What is the
I think, Rajesh, please don't club these two. These two are different. 5,500 crores Kerala government has sunk in Vizhinjam is for creating basic infrastructure. Adani Ports has spent 2,400, 2,500 crores for the supporting facility on a supplementary basis so that they will be able to start the operation. Now, this investment and that investment are two separate things. And basically, I would say this need not be related to the money that the state government will get by way of operation. As I mentioned earlier, this will take some time for the state government to get. It is like a coconut tree being planted. For 6 years you continue to water the plant, provide manure, support that. And once it starts yielding, a coconut tree will give yield for about 40 years, 50 years or 60 years. Something like that is what is going to happen with the port infrastructure. The other thing which I thought you would ask me, that question I myself will put, is that some agency seems to have said, how can a foreign agency can come and do the operations here? Don't they need security clearance from the government? I say, Adani Ports he is an Indian. He has already got security clearance from the government, Home Ministry, for the share that they have given in Mundra. Once Home Ministry has given the clearance for MSC to have investment in Mundra, what is the difficulty? Security clearance for this agency here is not a big issue at all. It is already there. And moreover, they have also have interest in Kamaraj Port in Tamil Nadu, Ennur Port, where also the Adanis are involved. MSC is also getting involved with them. So that is not an issue at all.
But they can still, they can divest up to 74%.
75%.
So once they divest more, will they be in control like Adani?
As it stands now, it is 51-49. 51 with Adanis, 49 with this. But I can tell you, in the 40 ports that they have, terminals they have taken, there is a pattern. They do not want to get themselves involved too much into management of the terminal, which MSC, with their global experience, they would like to give it to the local agencies to do that. Why should they get involved in that? They will concentrate on their core business of transportation of containers from one port to the other. That is their core business. They will concentrate on that. And the terminal arm of MSC, which is TIL, they will have tie-up with the local agency, that is Adani Ports, and continue the operations with them. My own reading of the situation is they would be happy with this 49-51, and Adanis also will be happy to continue with that arrangement. Unless, of course, a stage comes where Adanis financially become so weak that they will have to request them to increase their share. For which, in any case, you have to approach the government for that matter.
Considering there is an off chance of this politics ruining this deal. Look at what is happening, and also the special political situation in Kerala. So everything becomes political here. So wouldn't it have been better for them to avoid this situation completely and make it a smooth process? Make it a smooth process. The whole deal a smooth process. Instead, it has been turned into a political controversy now. So Adani should have realized, expected this controversy and probably approached the government beforehand and got a preliminary permission or approval or something like that before going ahead with the deal with the MSC.
I think probably, I would say, Kiran, they had maintained very good relations with the state government, even with the previous government. And before that also, when Ummanchandi was the chief minister, it was during his time only Adanis were brought in. So consistently, for the last about 10 years, they had maintained good relations with both the governments. And even with the present government also, I don't think there is much of. They would not have probably thought this would be a major issue and all that. Once the agreement is signed, then they could approach and get it done. But unfortunately, in Kerala, you don't need a very solid case for people to raise their voice. For small things, which are basically not very well related to the core issue, our state has got that tendency to raise issues wherever issues are not really needed to be raised. That is our culture is like that. Imagine what sort of complaints were there when the port was being developed by the local population. 2-3 years, nothing happened. And Adanis were in a mood to discard this. Whatever money that they have spent, they wanted to write it off and go away. To that extent. In addition, they had problem for getting the granite blocks and all that from places. From Tamil Nadu, there was some problem and all that. that there was a storm there by which all these things were washed away. They had put in a lot of money. All that happened, but still Adanis did not go away from Vidiñam. They remained, consistently maintained their stand that one day things would become all right. I remember in Southampton, which is an important port of the UK, when a developmental project was taken up for increasing the length of the berth for about 2 kilometers more, there was a small island where a lot of birds had segregated, and while this was being extended, a portion of the island was also to be disturbed, simply because birds had migrated and environmentalists made a huge hue and cry saying that environmental balance will be disturbed, as a result of which about 6-7 years the development did not take place. So this is not something which is special to our place. In other places also things are happening. But fortunately, with the involvement of many well-meaning people, that issue was sorted out. Today, do you know, all those villagers who had given land or whose fishing prospects were affected, partially at least, the youngsters, men and women, are being trained with skills needed for the port, and a special cell is being created to support this. And I was told MSc is also actively involved in helping the Adani ports for their skill development.
So
These are the advantages.
So the local people are...
Now, local people are quiet.
Now also the mooring and the crane operation are done by the locals only. Local women and...
They had no knowledge. They were trained. Skill development plans were there, as a result of which today no problem. In Kerala, something which is very special, of course it is there in all other states also, backbiting and all that. For sedition, externally he has opponents, number of them. He has also opponents within the party. Because you know pretty well, 3 contestants were there for the post of CM. And the other 2 are now keeping their head down, but internally that displeasure is very much there. See whether he could be unseated and all that from the chair, that is there all working. I was told one of the KPCC secretary or AICC secretary was instigating the another issue to cause trouble for the chief minister. All internally coming up. So he has to see the internal conflict and external conflict. And Plato says, the great Plato of Greece, he says in Republic, the most difficult management in the world is political management. All these small troubles and all that, political management is the most difficult thing. And our man is capable of dealing with these things. To my mind, I find that Mr.
Till now
Suggestion.
he has managed. Till now he has
But one thing I am sure, being an advocate also, he would know very well that he has to pass through a thorny surface, and the journey will not be very smooth. He must be aware of that.
But sir, the message which is going out of Kerala is that, look, any big investment coming to Kerala is not secure. If you are coming to Kerala to invest a big amount, you face trouble. So with Adani issue, the message has amplified. So don't you think that this will affect our future investments? Like, somebody is planning to make a big investment in Kerala, they might be, reluctant. They might say that, look, let's go to Tamil Nadu, let's go to Karnataka.
Rajesh, I will take a positive side of that. If world's largest container shipping line has finally decided to make an investment to the tune of 13,000 crores, largest investment to come to any port in India, which means the climate and the atmosphere currently prevailing in Kerala must be favorable. That would be the message which will go. You might have read in the newspaper that recently Chief Minister has said for Kerala's infrastructure development, the NRIs in UAE should be there, support should be tapped and all that. I think that is one area where a lot of money is there for our people. And if they are given a guarantee that their money, if they give it to a government agency, we will be able to utilize that for the benefit of the people of Kerala and for your own benefit. Any venture that we, with the money that we go in, a government support will be there to run that properly. With that sort of guarantee, I think probably if our Keralites, how many? 3 million people are there outside Kerala working. Very, very financially quite strong people are there. And if they want to make an investment, Kerala's future will be something which will be promising. I'm sure about that. I think, I look at it, I am basically an optimist. And I look at it from this 13,000 crores of investment will make a change for Kerala in its future. And all these things, Kiran, as you said, is only for political consumption of the people.
CM in his interview earlier told about using coastal air or ports to reduce road transportation and transport hazardous materials. So what is the scope of this? What are the possibilities? How can it actually help the state?
I will tell you, MSC is bringing now, in the last 2 years' time, about 1.6 million TEUs of containers. Since there is no road and rail for dispersal of that cargo, evacuation of that cargo, all that cargo has to go from that port in small vessels to other coastal ports in India, on to the west coast as well as to the east coast. If that going to the coastal ports is only 1 million, or 1.5 million, or maximum 2 million. If it comes to 5.7 or 6 million, how many feeder vessels have to go? More number of feeder vessels have to go. They will also explore the possibility of ports where they had not gone earlier. Those ports also will come into prominence. In all these places, more employment opportunities will be created, because more cargo is there to be moved. More feeder vessels are required to be engaged. And therefore, there will be a spin-off effect when more cargo is handled in the one port. It has a dispersal value. So there will be an all-round development for the coastal ports. If one port, and assuming that over a period of time, in Vallarvada, the third largest container terminal people, CMS EGM, French company, if they want to make an investment, improve the infrastructure. Currently it is only 1 million TEU and they have a blueprint to have it 3 million TEUs. A lot of development will take place in our area. So this is a precursor for what is going to happen in Kerala in the near future, according to me.
So you mentioned the spin-offs. Earlier, the former finance minister Bala, he said that if we need to benefit from the Vizhinjam port spin-off, we need to develop township roads, parks fast enough, which is not happening, and the benefits of this economic spin-off may go to Tamil Nadu. He fears that it's already, Tamil Nadu is taking advantage of the Vizhinjam port because we are slow in developing our townships, logistics parks and all. What is your own view?
See, you must see the geography of the place. Kerala is a highly populated area. I don't know how many of you have gone to Vizhinjam. It's a congested area. From Trivandrum city to Vizhinjam, when you go through the roads, every nook and corner there is a house. So getting land is a problem. They can't get the land here. Then the only place where you can go is just outside the geographical limit of Kerala. Go to Tamil Nadu. 40 kilometers away, Tamil Nadu area, state will come. They will get 100 acres of land, 50 acres of land without much of difficulty. There should be a corridor from that to the port. 40 kilometers, 50 kilometers. In 1 hour's time, all these containers will reach there. Ports do not recognize geographical boundaries. Ports are essentially pan-India and over the, it is beyond even national borders. For example, Nepal's cargo is coming to Calcutta for shipment. Bangladesh cargo is coming to Calcutta for shipment. Many other Malaysian cargo is going to Singapore for shipment. So all these things can happen. Our benefits are going to Tamil Nadu is not correct. Tamil Nadu also will get benefited, there is no doubt about that. Let them also get benefited. What is wrong with that?
But Tamil Nadu is going ahead with the project to build a port at Kolachari.
That has been shelved now. They wanted to see, deliberately there was one minister, Ponnu Swami or Pon Radhakrishnan or so.
He was BJP man.
He was a minister, and Kanyakumari, that area is his catchment area. So he wanted to, for political prospects, he wanted a container terminal to be developed and engaged a consultancy agency, paid the money and got a report saying that an ideal site for this. Consultants, if you pay, they will try to give you a report which would suit your interest. But fortunately nothing happened. The fishermen community there created problem, as a result of which that did not, Kolachal also, did not come through. So I think that if they get, for example, world's 10th largest container port is Dubai. And you know, in Dubai, where is the industry? 50% of their cargo, which they are handling about 12 million TEUs or so, 50% is transshipment cargo. Then you might ask, what about the other 50%? Jawahirlal Port, part of the Dubai, they have acquired roughly about 1,000 acres or so land and made it as an industrial park where they promoted industries to come. Easy permission for starting the industries and all. And once the products are there, then they transported it to this port. As a result of which, what happened was, this port had become, even though it is such a small country, but cargo is enough. Cargo consolidation was substantial. As a result of which, a lot of business is there. And Dubai consistently maintained that position, either 10th or 11th in the world. So here also, let it go to, some benefit will go to Tamil Nadu, let it go, what is wrong with that?
But Kerala will lose the economic spin-off benefit. That's what you're saying, because of the population density in Kerala.
Kerala will continue to have the spin-off benefit. A portion of that will have to be shared with neighboring. What is wrong with that? They are all India. We are part of Indians, you know.
But our
So
plan
that's-
is to develop an outer ring road and to establish.
No, but what I say that if you have no land, what will you do? In the initial developmental plan, I was told about 200 to 300 acres to be reclaimed from the sea and to be made available to the port. But I don't think that has happened. Nowadays, dredging and all that from the sea and taking the sand and reclamation and all that is a big issue. There will be environmental issues and all that will come and will create problems. According to me, that is a good idea. Whether it is 100 acres, 200 acres, 300 acres, if it can be found within about 50 to 60 kilometers from the port, let the Tamil Nadu also share a part of the benefit, but largely the cargo will come to our Vinyam and then get shipped. They cannot have a port there, close to that. It's okay. It should not be much of a problem, according to me.
Sir, you mentioned our own Vallarpadam port. Now, if you remember, when that time, when the investment happened and then inauguration happened, similar, we were all bullish, but unfortunately, Vallarpadam has not taken off the way which we all thought it would happen. So, what has gone wrong in Vallarpadam?
Actually, Vallarpadam, what has gone wrong in the sense that they have not been able to create a marketing strategy beneficial for the exporters and importers through this port. There is a rail line which has been constructed from Kalamassery to the port, about 500 kilometers at a great expense. I have myself written 2-3 articles on Vallarpadam and the need to construct a rail, road, waterway connections also to support them. After all this done, should they not try to compare what is the fare exporters would pay for road and what would be the rate by rail and try to make it more attractive for the exporters to send it through rail? One reason is railways think, why should we try to reduce our fare? It's for the port. Port's attitude also has not been that helpful. As a result of which, they found that sending the cargo by rail is not that beneficial. And cargo is now coming through road. Earlier when I spoke to Praveen Joseph, he was saying the major problem is in the border in Palghat, there is a Walayar. Walayar is the main problem. Walayar, lot of difficulties are there for the trucks to come in and all. Walayar problem was sorted out. But still nothing is going up here. DP World and port together has to sit down with the exporters and importers. Tell us, what is your real problem? For getting a container by road to Cochin port, if it costs, let us say from Coimbatore. Coimbatore is the nearest. If it costs 3,000 rupees. By rail, if it is going to be higher than that, we will reduce it to 2,500. And the reduction, Cochin port and DP World will share and do it. Good marketing strategy. But that has not been done. Praveen Joseph, I had mentioned to him, sir, what to do, our DP World, they will not agree and all. As a result of which, this attitude of the port has come in the way of more cargo being attracted to Cochin. But interestingly, one important factor is there. I don't know whether you have noticed, Manoj, in the total, they have handled only about 8.5 lakhs in a year. That is the maximum. They still, after how many years? 2011 it was inaugurated. Now 14 years have passed. They have not been able to reach 1 million yet. This is the main reason for the cargo not coming to Cochin. Sit together with the exporter, importer, railways, roads and all that. Cochin port now thinks, of course I have been a port chairman myself, I cannot say, but even then, had I been the chairman of the port trust of Cochin, I am sure I will be able to have a dialogue with the railways, with the road people, exporters, importers, and subsidize it from other revenue which I am getting from other port users, and to see that this rail line and cost of transportation from the hinterland is brought down to such a level that the exporters and importers will find it difficult, will find it comfortable to do it through. This has not happened.
VKC Footwear, they are using Mumbai port.
Huh? Not even Chennai port.
Not Chennai. They are going to.
Why?
Mumbai.
Maybe certain concessions are being given like
Concession is there and faster deliveries.
that.
What is the connection between exporters from Kerala and JNPT? Because JNPT, when I was there, I was told that there are some exporters dependent on JNPT for the Middle East exports.
Yeah. Basically, they would have probably thought that they would be getting a better freight rate is another thing. Freight rate.
What about the turnaround time?
Turnaround time in Olarvadam, it is reasonably at a good shape. I don't think they are far behind in performance. But interestingly, the point which I wanted to convey to you was that after the very impressive performance of Vizhinjam, transshipment volumes have come down. Here. But gateway cargo has gone up. Which means the actual imports and exports from the hinterland of this port, that has gone up. What does it give? So if proper incentives are given, it could even go up much higher.
So your opinion is that now Malayalam should
Concentrate on gateway cargo more than the transshipment cargo. Transshipment cargo already a competitor is there. So instead of competing with them, let us try to do. But I tell you, even if we cannot publicly say, even if road and rail connections are there to Vidiñam, it may be difficult for them to attract the gateway cargo because cost of inland transportation, road transportation and rail transportation will be very high. Where is the hinterland of Vidiñam? On the west, it is sea. On the south, there is hardly anything. Again, sea. East, where is the industry? And then you come to the north side, Cochin is there, well established.
The cash exporters and importers in Kollam are depending on Thoothukudi.
So that small amount of cargo only will be there. It will be very difficult for them to get gateway cargo to, although they say customs clearance, all that has been obtained, and therefore export-import cargo should take. You watch and see how much of export-import cargo will go through. Vidiñam can come up only on the basis of transshipment cargo. MSC alone will be able to give 6 million TEUs. They would have already calculated from their own ships. They will be able to give 99.9% is MSC cargo. One shipping company alone will be able to support them. But their dreams of becoming a gateway port also along with I think that dream is unlikely to be achieved in the near future.
Is this the reason why they have slowed down the gateway? There is a delay.
No, the delay is only because the Kerala government has no money. That is the main thing. They don't have money, unfortunately. There was a report saying that 1,000 acres of land has been identified by the state government's 2 agencies for acquisition. The latest is not even 2 acres have been acquired.
So that's a big problem, land acquisition.
Land acquisition is acquisition of land for Vidiñam is going to be a problem. But the thing is, this might happen in the close border of Tamil Nadu, getting land. To my mind, absolutely nothing wrong with that. A part of the benefit of this, let Tamil Nadu also get it. What is wrong with that? If 25% benefit goes to them, 75% benefit comes to Kerala, what is wrong with that? Sharing it.
But people are saying it will be other way around. 75%.
Yeah, because the cargo is coming to our place. Cargo is not going to Tamil Nadu. If they have to go to Tamil Nadu, it has to go all the way to Chennai. So that is far-fetched.
So when you must be very well aware that when the Vidiñam port was conceived and was discussed, there was this big talk about, that Kochi lobby versus Trenton lobby, that when Vidiñam comes up, it will affect Kochi port. So this will become two competitors. So Vidiñam will kill Malayalam and vice versa. So, and then there was this big allegation that the Central Travancore politicians won't allow Vidiñam to happen. The 2 ports, do you think this will be competing with each other or will complement each other? What is your...
On this issue, I had published an article in Business Line about 5-6 years ago. What would happen to Valarvadam when Vidiñam comes up? Vizhinjam will remain and continue to remain and continue to prosper as a transshipment terminal, ideally suited for transshipment operations. Vallarvadam is ideally suited to be developed as a gateway port with its own hinterland for export and import. Vallarvadam should concentrate, as we mentioned earlier, for its gateway traffic, not compete for transshipment cargo. They will concentrate on transshipment cargo and they may hardly get any gateway cargo because of the geography of that place. Both can coexist, supplement each other. Suppose there is a congestion. They have only 2 berths or 3 berths. MSC's 3 vessels are coming. Can they afford to wait? Divert it to Cochin. Handle the cargo there. And go away. Now the question is, you may ask, are there any country in the world where 2 such ports are remaining close to each other? Yes. Malaysia. 2 important ports are Port Klang and Port of Tanjung Pelipas. The distance is about 190 kilometers or so. One is 11th largest port in the world, Port Klang. The other is 13th largest port. How do they exist? Port of Tanjung Pelipas concentrating on transshipment cargo. 90% of its total traffic is transshipment cargo. Gateway cargo hardly about 10%. But Port Klang is basically a gateway port where they are concentrating on gateway cargo. Examples for coexistence and supplementing each other, cooperating with each other. Only difficulty is here for the development of Cochin. The draft has to be further increased from 14.5 to 16 meters. The maximum it can deepen is up to 16 meters only. Otherwise, it will have detrimental effect on the environment. Sea erosion and all these things would take place. So therefore, a maximum, but for which 800 crores are required. Who will spend 800 crores? Cochin Port is already spending about 120 to 130 crores every year for dredging, maintenance dredging, to keep the 12 kilometers long pathway channel to be deepened. A lot of money. When it is deepened to 16 meter draft, then the cost of dredging from 120 might go up to 150 crores. And that has to come from the port's revenue. 2 articles I had prepared and sent publicly. The central government is not taking seriously about port development. They say, ports, you give it to the private sector and develop it. For all private sector. So what is central government doing? Central government, as the federal governments in Europe, where major ports are there, dredging of the approach channel from the sea to the port is undertaken by their central governments, federal government. But within the port, the dredging is by the port authority. Fair. Because the government also is getting the benefit by taxes and all that, they will also have to spend. But central government is keeping quiet. But at the same time, the oldest port is Calcutta in India. And the port is situated 120 kilometers into the Hooghly River. Dredging of the Hooghly River. Every year, cost of dredging is approximately 300 crores. And fortunately at that time, very strong political leaders were there from West Bengal. And they prevailed over the government that the entire amount of dredging should be subsidized by the central government. And it has been going on for a number of years. But quietly the government became wiser. From 100, they brought it down to 90%. 10% port has to give. Then later, it was brought down to 80%. After that, it was brought down to 70%. But the latest I heard was the deputy chairman was there here in Cochin, who was transferred as deputy chairman of Calcutta. When I asked him, he said, sir, now it has been brought down to 60%. The government's idea is everything should go to the port, but they want to keep themselves away from that. If the dredging costs in major ports, actual dredging costs of the channel dredging, not the inner, if shared by the central government, Indian ports will certainly progress, develop much faster than it used to be in the past.